a podcast show. Do not be obsessed with your obsession. Believe it or not, this is just an entertainment. Creepy tale.
Good evening to everyone who's listening to Creepy Tales. You will be following Freddy on a story which I'm going to share with you guys throughout the night. Anywhere you are, wherever you're at home, driving, sitting with your friends or alone. So sit tight and enjoy the story. This story was shared by someone that which was sent through to our email. This story happened during 1985. This is a story that I'm about to share. This experience happened when my age was 15 years old, when we moved to our new house somewhere in Singapore. I have an older brother. He is currently turned 17 years old. When we moved out to our new house, day is already near dark, and we were just half finished in our unloading our belongings from truck to our new house. And because of our parents still busy unloading our belongings to our new house, we become bored. Without our parents' permission, we go to the river near a forest nearby, searching for any frogs. When we have fun collecting frogs, suddenly my older brother freezes. His eyes look deep into the forest, and suddenly my older brother said to us to be silent because he heard some sound from forest. The sound hurts like a whistle, but it's too deep and no one can do whistle as long as we heard it's too long. I feel chill in my body, and not long after that, some light emanating from forest. It was an object head flying with intestine without lower body. What we Malay call is the penanggal. Me and my brother trembled with fear, looking at this object, glowing with blood, dripping from its intestine, seemed fly towards us. My brother, alarmed with the right side, pulled my hand and shouted, "Run!" he said, and me immediately started to run with my entire might towards our house. We ran without looking back because we know if penanggal catch us, who knows what would happen to us. Lucky, our parents still outside the house unloading the stuff to our new home, and my dad soon realized that we are running like crazy towards him. The moment he saw a light object, ghostly light, chasing after us as fast as he can, my dad grabbed his fish spear, while my mother dashed inside the house to take broomstick and two other unknown neighbors who helped my parents to unload the stuff. He quickly went to take the stone and knife and started to throw rocks to the light, and immediately asked to hide behind them. Me and my brother watched in shiver as penanggal hovered high above our house, watching at us with intestine dripping in blood, flying high around us. Our parents and others with all their might throw rocks to the abomination as my father chanted some prayers in Buddhism as it hovered high above us. Around half hour, at last the ghost seems to disappear. And after my father sure the ghost really is gone, we go inside the house and lock any windows and doors. We sure never walk to that place again. It still scared me and my brother till this day. Whew, that was a really creepy ride. Anyway, thank you for listening to Creepy Tales. And if you have any ghost stories like this gentleman, please send over to share us and subscribe to our channel to support us. if you want us to read out your story. Creepy tales. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Max. So we are now here on one of our live site where it's located at the northern side of Singapore. So we are bringing this storytelling right here so that you can feel whatever we feel right now. Okay, so I have here a story that was given to one of our listeners. It happened in a part of Singapore, which I will not say where exactly it is located. So without further ado, keep listening to Creepy Tales. This incident happened in 1984. And I just got married to a guy who was staying in a part of Singapore. There was a Malay wedding that night, and I was visiting my in-laws who happened to be the cook at the wedding. As I was relatively new to the area, I suggested to my husband that we explore the area at 12 midnight. I said to myself, I must be crazy. But the enthusiasm and the excitement drowned any signs of fear that I had in me. Well, crazy as it was, we finally made our way there. Treading on the long winding road towards the highest area where we could have a good look at those people working on the wharves that are located around there. Tired, we sat on one of the empty benches, and then I realized how quiet and eerie the whole place was. There were empty colonial bungalows and tall trees standing with the howling of dogs. Strangely, I could not see any dog anywhere. That was when I finally decided to get home as soon as possible. So while walking home, I realized that there were tall cempaka trees. Cempaka trees are frangipani trees. It's a name that is being given in Malay. These trees are lining on each side of the track with their strong scented flowers scattered everywhere. Strangely, both of us were unusually quiet. Then suddenly, it started. I heard a clanking sound, as if someone or something were dragging metal chains right behind me, following every step that I made. I figured it could not be any one of those howling dogs, as they would be barking. So I decided to just mutter some prayers and held on tight to my husband. I didn't even dare to turn back or say anything to my husband. The ambient temperature started to went down all of a sudden. One moment, it was normal, walkable temperature. Then in a split second, it suddenly went chilly cold. There was no wind, but yet it felt like we were walking in a freezer. Then as we continued to walk on,
that sweet, scented smell of frangipani slowly turned to a rotten smell. I had almost vomited due to the intense smell. My husband started to grip my arms tighter, and our footsteps began to be faster. It was as if we were almost jogging. We were almost at the verge of running when suddenly my husband stopped in his tracks. There was a distant sound of a duck or a geese. It sounded like that, but it was about 200 or even 300 meters away from us. We couldn't see anything that far, but my husband's gaze was affixed to the direction in front of us. He whispered closely to my ear, "Dear, are you seeing this?" Feeling afraid to look, I kept my gaze down, but replied,
"Abang, let's just get out of here. I don't want to see anything."
Still feeling afraid, and by now I was shivering, partly due to the cold and fear. It then dawned on me of a story told by my friends that before, if you encounter similar smells and sound, it could probably be a banshee or something is around or very near. My husband kept checking on me, and his sound clearly being frightened by this scenario, but obviously trying to keep a brave front. "Are you okay? Don't worry, we will get out of here with God's will." True enough, at last we finally reached the main road and saw that there was a group of bikers nearby. The moment we stepped on the road, both of us gave a sigh of relief. After I felt safe enough, I asked my husband about the mysterious sound that I heard, and to my surprise, he claimed he did not hear anything except those barking dogs. He also claimed that he saw shadows lurking behind the trees while we were sitting on the bench. Although he had been staying there all his life, he never realized how creepy that place was until then. Well, you creepy tale listeners, maybe one day, if you happen to walk by a similar place that is described in the story, you could really check this place out and find out what's really out there. For now, we are braving ourselves to bring you this story live at this place, so that all you listeners are able to have a feel of what it is or how it is at a place that is so spooky. Well, there is another side of the story. This is how it goes. Recently, my son saw what he claimed as a pontianak standing on the kenanga tree, which stood next to the phone booth near the seaside, while his friend was talking on the phone. He described it as tall with long hair, wearing all white with both hands on the hips, looking down towards him, but he could not see its features clearly. But that is another story, and stay tuned to the next story in Creepy Tale.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, please remember the stories that we share over here are just purely meant for entertainment purposes. Do not at any time take this seriously. And remember, always listen to Creepy Tales.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in with me, Mr. S, in Creepy Tales. Do subscribe, like and share, to our channel, Creepy Tales. Well, tonight we are on site, located somewhere in the northern part of Singapore. 4 of us, all males, began our night adventure at about 12:15 a.m. Our exact destination was somewhere located in the northern side of Singapore. Upon arriving and parked my car, we were greeted by many sounds of ducks, gooses, crickets, sound like birds chirping, and all those nature quiet noises which came from the bushes trees. The feeling was super eerie. Every single one of us had goosebumps. However, we remained calm and hid for the shore nearby. Upon our arrival, we look out for the nature surrounds, and guess what? Right on our left side, there is a Chinese altar. Seems like it was there for a very long time. And to our right, there is a huge, humongous tree, which I couldn't figure out what tree was it. Could it be a banana tree? Or perhaps some other trees? And suddenly, we saw one and only bird, a big bird, I must say. I couldn't really define what kind of bird was that, but it was huge compared to normal birds in Singapore. It flew towards us in a circular manner and staring at us from the top. We were stunned, yet terrified, cause anything could happen besides what we saw was flying around. With that kind of soul preying on us, the next moment, all 4 of us panically ran back towards my car. While running, reaching towards our car, we saw a figure, a white figure sitting on the driver's seat. She looked really skinny and tall, with her head slanted to the right, touching the ceiling of the car. That moment, things came to our mind. Our legs started to tremble. We couldn't remain calm anymore at this point of time. If anyone was in my position, you probably would not stop running to get inside the car, right? Instead, you choose to be the Usain Bolt or Forrest Gump and continue running out the area towards the main road, which is about 10 to 15 minutes away. So I actually managed to glance in my car and saw how she looks like while running past my car. It's those soiled white cloth. Her looks simply horrible. Her hair was very, very long. Nose was like long, and the pointed part of the nose turned slightly to the upside down, and her eyes was more like a skeleton deep, dark hollow. You can't really see her eyeballs. Imagine it. Half of her face was covered by her long hair. We eventually ran all the way to the main road, leaving my car behind. We took a taxi and to the nearest 24-hour kopitiam to take a breather. Till morning, about 7 o'clock in the morning, we came back to the location to drive the car back. Luckily, no damage on my car, and I drove all my friends back home. But the only thing left in the car that night was a soil marking stain on the driver's seat, which couldn't be wiped off. This is the very location where the car was parked in the incident happened. A white figure sitting in the driver's seat. And if it's you who's listening right now, if it's you in his position, what will you do? Believe it or not, this is Creepy Tale.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in Creepy Tales. Well, if you have creepy stories to share, you could email us at creepytalestrioz@gmail.com